The reviews are in, and we're going to tell you what they are. He's Todd Vandenberg, I'm Rob Steele, and we've got movies. Because, we're movie geeks or whatever. And we thought, we'll watch them, tell you about them, tell you whether or not they're worth seeing. Todd, I understand you watched a movie this week. I suspect you probably watched several movies this week just because.
I did watch several, but the one I'm going to talk about, I will say at the beginning, it is worth watching. It is Mary Poppins Returns. Later on, we will talk about movies we're looking forward to. I was looking forward to this movie quite a bit for quite a long time. For whatever reason, it took me until this week to finally watch it. Because that's how things go sometimes, even though the thing's been out for almost 10 months. Anyway.
With some time.
Yeah, it came out before Christmas of last year. I was looking forward to this because I love the original movie. It's a wonderful story. It's extremely well done. I was looking forward to it because it stars Emily Blunt, who's one of my favorite actresses. I was looking forward to it because it had some good promise for some interesting songs, since Lin-Manuel Miranda is a co-star and had a hand in writing a lot of the songs. And Rob Marshall, who's done some really great modern musicals like Chicago, is the director. All of these elements went together to create a okay movie. So I was really disappointed.
Build up and build up and build up, and it's okay.
Yeah, and we've talked about expectations like almost every other show. I mean, it's all about your expectations. That's why when you see, plug for Prodigy, a cool little horror movie that you have no expectations whatsoever, and it's really good, and you're blown away by it. Or, on the flip side, you see the final X-Men movie from Fox Studios, and even though the movies even though most of their movies have been kind of it's the last one. Surely they did a really good job, and it's just okay, borderline bad, and so then it's not great. So I had great expectations for Mary Poppins Returns. It's a good movie, and yes, I did enjoy it, but the element that the original has that's lacking in this one, and I don't know of any other way to put it other than it just doesn't have that sense of magic about it, which is kind of weird because that's what the whole thing is about. It's about this magical nanny who comes back after decades to help out the children that she took care of way back when the movie came out in the 60s. The timeline doesn't quite follow because they're not that much older, but the kids are grown up now. And this sad tale, and this is no spoiler, but Ben, his wife has passed away, and his sister has moved back in with him to help him out with his kids. He has 3 little kids, and she comes back to be their nanny. And they play with the deceit for just the same way the original movie was, where the parents never witnessed any of the magic, even though these are the 2 kids, now adults, totally knows she's magic. He really doesn't want to buy into that. And the kids, of course, don't believe it at first, and then she introduces them to all these wild adventures. The adventures are really, really cool, really fun, really well done. A great mix of animation and live action, just like in the original. Some pretty cool production numbers. But overall, the story just doesn't hold. I think part of it is because of the direction they gave Emily Blunt. She's like a sterner version, not mean by any chance, but she doesn't quite have the sense of fun that Julie Andrews did in the original. And Emily Blunt is capable of hilarious comedy, and they just didn't give her enough of that in this movie for me. Kids will love this movie, absolutely, and I'm sure most parents will like the movie quite a bit. If you haven't seen the original, I have no idea why the heck you're watching this. Go watch the original and then watch this one. And you'll see, at least to me, where this one falls down. By far, the best moment of this movie, and this is not a spoiler, unless you haven't seen a single trailer or read a thing about it, one of the cast members from the original film pops up in a fairly significant role. It's not just a cameo, although it's not very long. And that person is utterly charming and does a great job in the performance. It's doesn't play the same character, but it's really, really good. So, yeah, I did like Mary Poppins Returns. If you go into it thinking, this might be okay, you'll be happy. So just look at it that way, and you will definitely like it. But if you think this is going to be, oh my gosh, they're going to make it even better than the first, how often does that happen? Think about it. So, good movie, fun. Emily Blunt is excellent. Her voice is, it's not Julie Andrews' voice, but I mean, she's really good. She's a very, very good singer. Miranda is very good as well. Co-star, playing a lamplighter instead of a chimney sweep, but you know, you got to get update with the times, right? Good movie. I enjoyed it. Your kids will most likely love it, and it won't be something there where you're groaning while they're watching it either. Just don't expect a whole lot of magic from Mary Poppins Returns.
Which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it was, to me, disappointing.
You want it to be huge and big, and it just kind of,
And it's gotten good user reviews, overall. So most people really enjoy it. So you probably will too.
I think compared to musicals that come out now, I think I put it above La 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 Land.
Yeah, I have issues with La La Land. I mean, I really like the movie, but I hate the musical performances.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway.
You know what? My movie had absolutely no musical performances in it at all whatsoever.
Woo!
In something that I'm going to call a juxtaposition to Mary Poppins Returns, although it is a sequel, kind of. I think it might actually be a prequel. I'll get to that in a minute. Hellboy 3. Which, what a magnificent flop. No, it actually wasn't, because it was panned by critics. The fans went, no, it's crap. And you know what? They're probably right. I'm not going to go into too many details about it. Short forming the storyline, Mila Jovanovic, she of the Fifth Elephant movie. I'm pronouncing it that way on purpose. She plays the Nimue, the Blood Queen, who wants to take over the world, because that's what bad guys do in movies like this. Look, it wasn't the best movie I've ever seen. Was it as good as the other Hellboy movies? No. I actually, just to get your opinion on this, Hellboy 1 I thought was really good. Hellboy 2 I did not particularly care for. Or was that just me?
No, I liked Hellboy 2, but I liked the first one better.
Okay, it's the same thing. The second one, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't, it's better than the first, because it wasn't. Hellboy 3, not better than either 1 or 2. I watched it anyway because we watch movies so you don't have to. See, I threw the slogan in the show. It wasn't horrible. There was a lot of gratuitous blood. There was a lot of violence. Hello, it's called Hellboy. It's supposed to be. So if you're into the Tarantino-esque, oh dear, I've pricked my finger on a needle and I'm going to bleed for the rest of the fucking movie, then this is for you. Now, basically what I'm going to tell you now are 2 spoilers. Except they're not spoilers.
Okay.
The first one, the good guys win. Duh. It's not much of a spoiler, but hey, there we go. Now, The second one, Hellboy's adoptive dad. If you've seen the other movies, you know it's Professor Broom, who in this movie is played by a guy whose name will not stick in my head. I've always called him Lovejoy. I'll call him Papa Lovejoy. There we go. Ian McShane. I always have to throw out the stupid name first. Anyway, Papa Lovejoy dies. There's a shock. He died in the first Hellboy movie. Interesting. Thus making this not capable of being Hellboy 3. It can't be a sequel. One of the main characters is already a little bit dead. But I thought this brought up kind of an interesting point. Is there a reason that sometime after this particular movie, Papa Lovejoy can't be resurrected? Because that can happen in this universe. Dead people are all through the movie. So Papa Lovejoy comes back after this movie, but before Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy 1. Thus making Hellboy 3 a prequel, meaning Guillermo del Toro can come back and actually make Hellboy 3, only this time make it correctly instead of the crap we got in this one. No, it has nothing to do with David Harbour, who, by the way, is secretly a Pokemon Go character. If you have a Slack King, I want you to look at that at an angle and go, holy crap, that is David Harbour in a Bigfoot suit. I'm not kidding. I've shown this to people and they've gone, holy crap, that is him. Anyway, I don't see why they can't do that. Now, I realize it's about as likely as me getting the lead in the next Batman movie. Although I will say that I would make a much better Riddler than Jonah Hill.
You'd be really good as the Riddler.
I think it would work.
Yeah.
Call me. Anyway, but from a storyline point of view, do you think that they could actually do that feasibly? I know they're not going to.
Well, of course they could. It's like you said, it fits in their universe.
It works. I don't see why not.
I will add this comment about the latest Hellboy movie. I've started watching it twice and turned it off twice.
Yeah, no, I said it wasn't the best movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I really like the first two Hellboy movies, but I don't know what it is, if it's the general tone or what, but I just could not get into this movie right from the start. Myself. Now, if I had gone to the theater to see it, yeah, I would have sat there and watched and plowed through it, because I've only walked out of one movie at a movie theater. But yeah, I can totally see why this would not be your favorite version of Hellboy.
I think the only movie I've ever walked out on, it wasn't really my fault for walking out on it. Own it. Well, no, my whole family went to go see E.T. And the big family movie. Everyone loves E.T. except my sister, who took one look at his open chest and everything and threw up. So we had to leave. Wow. It's the only movie I sat through Boiling Point for you people. I'll review that someday. And
jeez,
damn.
You are
so
a hero.
Anyway, after the disappointment of both Hellboy 3 and E.T., let's go to something we're looking forward to, because I think we need that this week. What's something you're looking forward to?
We do need that this week, and I am looking forward to this movie a lot, and I have been, and it's already out. But I had a lot of stuff going on this weekend, like my brother's 20th anniversary, and they had a remarriage ceremony, and it was very, very cool. So we spent the entire day partying with relatives and friends, which was awesome. So my brother wins out over Joker. That is what I'm really looking forward to. We've talked about it quite a bit, and a lot of reviews have out, and I've only glanced at a few reviews because I want to avoid spoilers as much as I can. And I also want to avoid being preconditioned into this is fabulous or this is terrible. I just want to go in with my own expectations, which are just kind of, so we'll see what goes on. Even though I'm really looking forward to it, I have really no great expectations for the film, other than I expect Joaquin Phoenix to be awesome, because he always is. Other than that, I don't know, it may be a crap fest. I'll find out. But I'm looking forward to this because it's a standalone picture. It doesn't jive in with the rest of the DC universe, what little is left of it, because now they've made the smart decision to just make standalone movies. And if they all fit together, okay, good. But they've abandoned their plan because Zack Snyder really screwed it up. And I still don't understand why people demand a Zack Snyder cut. Have you people not seen Batman v Superman and you want a Zack Snyder cut of Justice League? Are you crazy? Do you want it to be worse? Anyway, back to Joker.
That's because Steppenwolf steps on Wonder Woman at some point and she says, Hippolyta, referring to her mother. And Steppenwolf goes, that's my mother's name too.
And everything is just fine.
Everything gets weird, and Steppenwolf becomes a friend after that. And
see, that's one thing I know won't happen in Joker. There's not going to be a freaking Martha moment. So I
hope not.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays out in a more rooted, realistic version. It's set kind of in the 70s, so apparently it has kind of that Taxi Driver, Mean Streets feel to it, which I love that time period. I love that kind of movie. So definitely looking forward to Joker, looking forward to seeing how Joaquin Phoenix pulls this off. I've be interesting. And just the comparison of, our most renowned versions of Joker. And I'm not excluding Mark Hamill's voice work either. So this will be nice to see where this fits in, because we've had some pretty awesome portrayals of the character. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Joker. And if I'm smart, I'll manage to do that tonight. But I will definitely be reviewing it next week.
Ta-da! See, something to look forward to. Something I'm looking forward to, and this, as we're recording, came out last night. And it's something we talked about even before we brought the show back, because it's been that long since we've heard news about this, that it does exist. Even my kids are looking forward to this. Last night, Netflix dropped a trailer for the second season of Lost in Space. Holy cow. I had almost forgotten. I periodically do forget that it existed. The first season I thought was really good. I was looking forward to more because you left us hanging off the edge of a cliff, you bastards. So yeah, it picks up right where we left off, if the trailer is any indication. It looks good. There's going to be aliens involved. Not necessarily humanoid aliens. There was something about a big fish. It wasn't on the screen long. I have no details other than it looked pretty. I'm looking forward to it. And there's a date. The 10-episode season will apparently be available for binge watching Christmas Eve of this year.
Very cool.
They snuck it out while we weren't looking. By the way, while we're on the subject of trailers, I would like to throw out that CBS's streaming service put out 2 trailers yesterday, one for Star Trek Discovery and one for Picard. Discovery looks about as good as Discovery has been in that it looks good. Picard, I wasn't really sure what to expect out of this. We get a few more details about the storyline, and we get a few cameos in it. I'm fairly certain that 7 of 9 at this point is going to be if not a main character, at least a regular recurring character.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure that it was not before we saw it was in fact Data, although his hair looked a bit off. But I think it was a dream sequence, so that's okay. And the cameo I wasn't expecting out of this, and I know it's just going to be one episode, Riker and Troy and their kid. So we're that far ahead. Riker, Jonathan Frakes has gone gray. More than Picard, which is kind of odd. But you know what? It works. It fits. I'm looking forward to this more than I was before because I loved Next Generation. And they're starting it up again, kind of, sort of. They're making it different, but you know what? That's okay. I'm still looking forward to it.
Considering his age, I'm thinking they should call it The Last Generation.
Don't do that, because then that means it sounds like you're just killing off Star Trek. And we don't want to do that. No,
just Picard. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Because to me, well, I would imagine to most people, he's by far the most interesting character of the Next Generation. So very cool.
Yeah.
And it's nice to revisit some really cool characters. So nice.
If I recall correctly, it's coming in January. So something to look forward to. So in the meantime, we've given you some ideas of things to watch. Stay away from Hellboy 3, but go see Mary Poppins or have it streamed to your home.
Indeed.
Or you know what? Joker is out there. You can now have a target when you get out and go see a movie.
Captain, we're losing power in the warp engines.
I think we should be leaving now.
I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
And on that unusually harmonious bombshell, it is time to end.
I am very disappointed!
Man, we have a weird job.
It's shameful, but, it's a living.
And like that, he's gone.
Hey, who turned out the lights?